Peace, family, friends, followers, and people just come in because they saw this video. And I hope this message is for you. That was on my soul, that was on my spirit. Slight interruption, but yeah, I just wanted to speak on what was on my spirit about our lessons, soul lessons here, and our experience here in this form, in this life, and as conscious beings. I just got lost in thought, wishing that I was an animal so that so that life would be easier. They don't have to think, they don't have to go through soul lessons. It's nothing for them to learn because they aren't conscious, they just are aware. But sadly, as conscious, aware beings, not even sadly, I can't even say just sadly, it's just sometimes we have the experience of sadness and pain and loss and despair through soul lessons. And I just wanted to say how even if it feels hard to live this life that we're living, it's for a higher purpose, for us to get the soul lessons that we need. And to really go to a higher level of being within ourselves. And so we came onto this school to learn and to experience everything, not just happiness, not just joy, not just freedom, but to have the full spectrum of experiencing, which means pain, which means loss, which means sacrifice, which means sadness, which means depression sometimes, which means, just all the things we rather not experience. We think life is supposed to just be about being happy and living our best life, but it's not always so. And I realized that the pain has really pushed me to go to grow. Like growing pains is pushed me to grow into the person, that the new being that I'm becoming. It's pushed me to a higher levels of awareness. The pain, the loss that led to lessons that transformed me for my highest good. And I realized that without that pain, without that loss, without those specific lessons that weren't about happiness, that weren't about achieving, that weren't about, joy and laughter and all the good times that we want to have, those are the key things in life that pushed me to transform, and that allowed me to transform into more of an awakened being, I would say. More into a higher level of consciousness, where I can see things from a different perspective and from a higher perspective. And I'm realizing that with duality, the good, the bad, I'm starting to grow into a non-dualistic approach to life, where I'm okay with the bad as well as the good. I don't just want, I'm not just open to good things happening into my life anymore. I'm open to, what pain and hardship and growing pains that I have to go through to get to the higher being that I need to be, to align and to fully align eventually with my higher self. And I finally got to that point where I learned enough lessons to see that it's okay for there to be bad. It's okay for there to be darkness, because darkness allows for growth too. It's not just the light. The darkness allows for us to know that there's light at the end of the tunnel. If there was no dark, we wouldn't know that there was light at the end of the tunnel. Same that if there was no light, we wouldn't know that we were in darkness, if that makes sense. It's just all coming together, back into oneness, back into wholeness, to receive the fullness of who I am, the fullness of light, the fullness of dark. And when I say dark, I don't mean, what people assume is dark. Well, what people, first idea of what dark is, of doing spell work and witchcraft and going to go kill people and all that stuff. That's not what I mean. The darkness is the things that we rather not accept about ourselves, the things we try to hide and push onto the background, like, I shouldn't be like this, I shouldn't be jealous. The things we try to brush off to the side and try to make better about ourselves because we don't like that part of us. But in reality, it's a part of us for a reason. It's there for a reason. It's a part of our wholeness to accept, and it's meant for us to accept our light as well as our dark, not to shun off our dark and say because we've been programmed not to accept the darkness within us. We've been programmed to say, oh, this is not good, so I'm going to hide this part of myself or try to make it better, try to elevate it and bring it into the light. But I realized that everything that we bring into the light will manifest in a new way as darkness. So I bring my jealousy to the light as a new form of, lightness, and it's just going to manifest into a different form of darkness. The darkness will always be there. No matter if you try to shift it, change it, elevate it, it's going to manifest itself in a new way because it's who we are. It's a part of us. And as we start to ascend into these higher vibrations of consciousness, we're all going through the shifts, we'll start to see and accept more of it's okay to accept my bad with my good. And when we learn to accept our bad with our good, other people can accept us that way too. But I saw as I would push off the parts of me that I didn't like and then that I thought were bad and that I thought I needed to change about myself, I noticed that the people around me couldn't accept me for who I was because I couldn't. And that I couldn't accept other people's darkness because I couldn't accept the darkness within me, the parts that I didn't like about myself. And now as I'm learning to accept that it's here and it's okay that it's here, I'm learning to just accept others and experience life in a different way where I'm not as judgmental and I'm okay with others people's darkness because I'm learning to be okay with mine. And that it's just life, it's our wholeness, is who we are, and the darkness wouldn't be here if it wasn't who we are. It wouldn't have been placed here if it wasn't a part of us. And it's okay to accept that. It's okay to be balanced in your light and your dark. Is a reason that we even have darkness as a part of our being. Is a reason for that. You know, we can't always be light, happy, fluffy. It's parts of life we have to accept that are dark, that are shitty. Well, that seem shitty, but they, in reality, they were a part of our growth this whole time. Had I not went through years of depression, I would not know what it feels like to be in, you know, the type of lightness I am now. Had I always been light, I wouldn't have been so grateful that I'm here now. But because I went through that dark phase of my life, I can be grateful that for where I am now. The darkness helps us to be more appreciative. The loss helps us to be more appreciative. The hard, painful soul lessons helps us to be more appreciative. And really the message is that it's okay to be dark and light. You don't always have to be light. You don't always have to be good. You don't always have to be sweet. You don't always have to be nice. It's okay to accept the wholeness of who you are. No matter if what society is telling you about yourself, no matter what it is, accept yourself. No matter what it is. And I don't care what people are going to say if they see this. You're like, what about the people that kill people? I still say, accept the wholeness of who you are. I'm not saying that I believe that people should be out here killing people, but darkness is darkness. And if that's really who you are, then accept the wholeness of who you are, no matter what it is. Don't shun who you are because you believe you should be another way. Peace, love. And I hope this message gets out to the people that needed to hear this and that needed to learn or hear that it's okay to accept who you are. No matter who you are or where you at, if you're in a jail cell right now, accept who you are, accept what you've done, and know that it's okay to be who you are, and you came to be exactly who you are, no matter what it is. It was your soul lesson for you to learn on this lifetime, and it's okay. Peace.